La inteligencia artificial ha transformado nuestro mundo, desde asistentes virtuales en nuestros teléfonos hasta algoritmos que toman decisiones en grandes corporaciones. Pero, ¿qué pasa si este progreso lleva consigo un lado oscuro que no podemos controlar? Hoy exploraremos las preocupaciones más alarmantes sobre la IA, respaldadas por nada menos que Geoffrey Hinton. ¿Está la IA amenazando nuestras sociedades, empleos y hasta nuestra existencia misma? Veamos por qué estas declaraciones están generando tanto ruido. Uno de los miedos más inmediatos es el impacto en el empleo. Según algunos estudios, más del 40% de los trabajos actuales podrían ser reemplazados por inteligencia artificial en las próximas 2 décadas. Geoffrey Hinton advierte que la automatización podría crear desigualdades sociales enormes, dejando a millones sin oportunidades laborales. La gran pregunta: ¿estamos preparados para este cambio? Personas como Noam Chomsky también han advertido sobre las consecuencias sociales de una IA descontrolada, mientras otros, como Ray Kurzweil, ven en ella un camino hacia una sociedad más eficiente. Otra preocupación clave es la capacidad de la IA para generar información falsa a una escala sin precedentes. Deepfakes que imitan rostros y voces humanas están siendo utilizados para manipular opiniones, extorsionar e incluso desestabilizar democracias. Si no podemos distinguir lo real de lo falso, ¿qué le pasa a nuestra confianza en los medios, en las personas y hasta en nuestras propias percepciones? Elon Musk, aunque invierte en IA, también ha hablado abiertamente sobre su potencial destructivo si no se regula adecuadamente. Hinton también ha mencionado el peligro de la superinteligencia, IA que podría, en teoría, desarrollar objetivos propios. En su opinión, estamos jugando con fuego, creando sistemas que podrían superar nuestras capacidades y control. Algunos expertos comparan esta amenaza con la invención de la bomba nuclear. La diferencia es que esta bomba podría pensar por sí misma. Sam Altman, por otro lado, cree que una IA bien regulada puede ser la mayor herramienta para el avance humano, siempre que trabajemos juntos para garantizar su seguridad. Las grandes empresas tecnológicas tienen en sus manos los algoritmos más poderosos del mundo. Geoffrey Hinton advierte que este desequilibrio podría concentrar aún más poder en unas pocas manos, dejando a los demás completamente vulnerables. La IA también plantea serias preguntas sobre privacidad y derechos humanos. ¿Debería el progreso tecnológico estar tan centralizado? Líderes como Jeff Bezos y Larry Page invierten en la promesa de la IA. Pero, ¿qué implica esto para la distribución del poder a nivel global? La inteligencia artificial tiene el potencial de revolucionar nuestras vidas para bien, pero también trae consigo riesgos que no podemos ignorar. Geoffrey Hinton nos ha dado una advertencia clara. Debemos reflexionar, regular y actuar antes de que sea demasiado tarde. La IA está alimentando una nueva carrera armamentística. Superpotencias como Estados Unidos, China y Rusia invierten miles de millones en investigación militar basada en inteligencia artificial. La deshumanización de la guerra es otro riesgo. Cuando los sistemas autónomos deciden quién vive y quién muere, las guerras se convierten en juegos de estrategia manejados por algoritmos. Esto puede generar errores catastróficos. Un fallo en la programación podría desencadenar ataques contra objetivos civiles. Escalada de conflictos. La velocidad y eficacia de los sistemas basados en IA podrían aumentar la intensidad y frecuencia de los enfrentamientos. Elon Musk ha advertido que la IA es más peligrosa que las armas nucleares si se utiliza para fines bélicos. Geoffrey Hinton, uno de los padres de la IA, teme que estas tecnologías puedan escapar del control humano y ser empleadas para dominar o destruir. La inteligencia artificial es una herramienta poderosa que puede beneficiar a la humanidad, pero también representa un riesgo significativo si se utiliza con fines bélicos. La comunidad internacional debe actuar con urgencia para regular su desarrollo y evitar un futuro donde las máquinas decidan el destino de las naciones. ¿Podremos controlar a la IA antes de que sea demasiado tarde? ¿Qué opinas? ¿Crees que la IA puede ser controlada o ya es demasiado tarde? Déjanos tus pensamientos abajo y no olvides suscribirte para más contenido como este. Gracias por tu atención. Nos vemos en el próximo video.
to turn back the clock to your earlier years. So what is your opinion on billionaires possibly being in complete control of an actual cure to aging? Do you think it will be available to regular people as time goes on, just like previous technologies? Therapies tested on humans in clinical trials. Investors are raising hundreds of millions of dollars to invest in reprogramming, which is especially focused at regenerating portions or the whole human body. One of the top experts in the subject of longevity research, David Sinclair, described the field as nascent, but believes it has special promise. What else can you do to reverse the aging process of the body? In his lab, researchers are ticking off the key organs and tissues, such as skin, muscle, and brain, to discover which may be rejuvenated. Sinclair claims he is not active with Altos, although he did speak at the 2020 conference and apply for a Milky Way prize. Altos hasn't made an official announcement yet, but the company was incorporated in Delaware this year, and a securities disclosure filed in California in June indicates it has raised at least $270 million, according to Will Gornall, a business school professor at the University of British Columbia who reviewed the document. In addition to Bezos and Milner, the business may be backed by other affluent tech leaders and venture capitalists. Altos also hired Peter Walter, whose laboratory at the University of California, San Francisco, is responsible for a chemical that has extraordinary effects on memory. Wolf Rake, a reprogramming specialist who recently quit as director of the Babraham Institute in the UK after the center announced he was accepting a job with another research organization, which is now thought to be Altos, will also be joining. Altos would first finance researchers with no imminent expectation of goods or income. According to one person informed by Klausner and Milner, the company's initial output will be outstanding science. Altos is enticing university professors with sports star salaries of $1 million or more per year, plus ownership and the independence from the burden of applying for subsidies. Manuel Serrano of the Institute for Research in Biomedicine in Barcelona acknowledged receiving a job offer from Altos, saying the business would pay him 5 to 10 times what he currently earns. Any cure for a major aging illness might be worth billions, but Altos isn't expecting to make money right away. The goal is to comprehend renewal. I would say that the notion of generating income in the future exists, but it is not the primary aim. Serrano was one of the first scientists to genetically modify mice to generate Yamanaka factors in 2013. As their cells returned to an embryonic stage, they all developed tumors. Nonetheless, the findings suggested that time might be reversed within a live mammal. You introduce the variables, and they work their magic. Even if it is not understood, it is extremely simple empirically. The big challenge now is how to customize reprogramming to determine if it can safely renew animals without killing them, and whether the procedure can be done using regular medicines rather than genetic engineering. Yamanaka factors, in my opinion, are unsuitable for clinical application. They entail the insertion of genes, some of which are cancer-causing. This is difficult to get past the regulatory authorities' filters. According to some experts, Government financing agencies are unable to invest in anti-aging treatments rapidly enough. If you notice anything in the distance that appears to be a massive pile of riches, you should flee immediately. Jensen said he will give out $20 million in quick turnaround impetus awards this year to speed up research using donor funding. Some academics wonder if reprogramming is a technique worth hundreds of millions of dollars in commercial investment. Alejandro Ocampo, a former researcher in Ispisa Belmonte's Salk Lab and now a professor at the University of Lausanne in Switzerland, is doubtful that reprogramming technology will be ready for use in medicine anytime soon. Ocampo is also concerned that there is too much money and too many businesses attempting to enter the research field. I believe it is moving too quickly. I'm not sure if we should have 5 to 8 reprogramming businesses. That appears to be too fast, he says. How many articles have been published on in vivo reprogramming? It is the same as the number of businesses. When administered to individual cells, however, the method has an undeniable, reproducible impact in laboratory studies. In vitro, a cell from an 80-year-old can be used to reverse the aging by 40 years. There is no other technology capable of doing so. Furthermore, reprogramming is acknowledged as a critical process that occurs spontaneously when a fertilized egg develops into an embryo and, 9 months later, results in a healthy kid. The parent's DNA is cleansed, regenerated, and restarted in some way. After trillions of newborn animals have been created over a billion years, Ocampo believes it is reasonable to conclude that reprogramming is one of the most replicated experiments. Altos will also be collaborating with a related technique for determining the age of a cell or a person. Horvath pioneered the biological clock approach, which includes measuring the epigenetic markings on genes. These molecular characteristics activate and deactivate genes, but their pattern becomes disordered as humans age. A biomarker of aging of this type would be an essential method to assess the efficacy of any longevity or age reversal medication that is produced. A medical research demonstrating life extension would be impossible to do since it would take too long, but a biomarker might be used instead. There is also a strong scientific connection between aging clocks and reprogramming, since reprogramming appears to work by remodeling the epigenetic marks in a cell's genome to an immature or naive state. That implies Altos will be at the forefront of both causing and evaluating regeneration. Bezos is reported to have a long-standing interest in longevity research, and he previously invested in Unity Biotechnology, an anti-aging business. For months, rumors have lingered that the billionaire will make a huge splash in the field. While Technology Review was unable to establish the extent of his interest in Altos, one thing is certain: aging is on his mind. Bezos included a quotation musing on mortality and decay from a book by scientist Richard Dawkins in his farewell letter to Amazon shareholders. It is necessary to work hard in order to avoid dying. Living creatures will ultimately blend with their environment and cease to exist as autonomous entities unless they actively try to prevent this. That's what happens when people pass away. Bezos meant that countries, businesses, and individuals must compete to be different, distinctive, and unique. One method may be